Hello, dear children. Namaste, and welcome to the super special, super useful session. This is Ambika, your biology master teacher, right here on this super duper amazing platform, which is Vedantu 9th and 10th English. Well, guys, you have already seen the title, Boosting Your Study Skills for Board Exams 2021, right? So, what exactly is it going to be? I'll tell you this. Well, I think at least by now, much of your anxiety would have come to a sort of settlement because be it CBSE or ICSE, your board exam dates, at least there's a clarity on that. So, right now, the only question is probably this: you have about a couple of months ahead of you. How do you make the best use of it? Of course, making the perfect timetable and all of that is very, very important at this point of time. And I think we've been talking to you a lot about those also, all of us different teachers. But something that you also need is, how do you study? Because making a timetable is fine. But today I'm not going to be telling you anything like that. How do you study? What are the skills you need to probably sharpen to make the best use of whatever timetable you make? Okay, so there are a lot of tips that we have compiled together for you. Most of them are things that we have also tried and tested. Well, personally, for me, I have also tried and tested a lot of them during my school days. Many things, unfortunately, I realized and learned only by the time I reached my MSc. Okay, but right now, we are putting it here for you because googling for all these things and looking up for information all over might end up in a situation where you're just wasting your time and not really having learned much, right? So stop searching. Today, whatever tips I'm going to be giving you, you might be able to, I'm sure you will be able to follow or pick up at least a few of them, if not all. Not every one of those tips would suit everyone. So understand, be smart. You should have the ability to judge for yourselves what would work for you, what would not. All right, keeping that in mind, let us begin as always with a positive quote. Don't talk, just act. Don't say, just show. Don't promise, just prove. Isn't that beautiful? Yes? Okay, so here is helpful tip number one: find a good studying spot. Now, when I say a good studying spot, it needn't be something that has the most expensive fancy furniture or anything like that. Good studying spot, the definition of good can vary from person to person. For some people, like how I used to prefer a simple, quiet space free of any sort of distractions when I used to be in school and college. Where I had like a comfortable, even if it's a small table and chair, I would prefer sitting there. Rarely would I prefer to sit on my bed to study. Normally, I'm not the kind of person who would be comfortable working or studying sitting on my bed. So for me, it used to be like that. One more thing I used to prefer was having a nice shelf next to me where I could arrange and organize all my material, and also a table lamp, a simple table lamp, because now and then I have always been a person who doesn't have much preference towards these white tube lights. Okay, so yellow lights have always been something that I really love, and a table lamp would be all that I preferred. For different people, it can be different. It could also be as simple as sitting under a tree if you have a garden or something in front of your house, or somewhere nearby, some safe spot free of distractions where you can focus at your best. Okay, but it may or may not have any music in the background. That's completely up to you. Because some people prefer complete silence, like I do. I'm a music lover, but even then, when I study or sit down to work, I prefer not to have music. When I have to focus on something completely, I prefer not to have music around, because for me, I think when I have music around, I tend to focus on the music. I tend to try learning the notes of the music. I try beginning to sing along with it rather than focusing on the work task at hand. So this is my personal version of it. It can be different for you. So make sure you find a good studying spot. Super duper important. But the only rule is, it should be a spot where you can focus at your best, at least for about half an hour together. There should be no distractions at all. Okay, right. Next one. Tip number two: avoid social media. Now, social media apps, whatever it may be, whatever kind of social media apps you commonly use, they do tend to give these constant notifications. even if you might switch off notifications and keep your devices next to you, you might have this tendency to just open it and check the apps, okay? WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're active on. So I would suggest stay off social media at least for a certain time of the day, okay? Because the thing is, even if you plan to check your notifications for about 2 minutes or 5 minutes, when you take a break in between your studies, 95% of cases end up in situations where you browse it for more than 20-30 minutes. Okay, so let's not take a chance. Just stay away from social media when you have to focus on something super important. Okay, right. Next one. It's quite possible that at this point of time, thinking about the huge workload, thinking about the huge load of study material in front of you, you might start feeling very, very anxious. Oh my goodness, too much to study, too many subjects to study, too many chapters to study. The Pomodoro Technique is just the solution for you. Many of you might have heard me talk about this myself in a lot of my previous sessions. In case you don't know what the Pomodoro Technique is, just listen to me right now. It's a scientifically proven technique wherein the idea is to get you focus on the task at hand. Well, how does it work? These are the simple steps. First of all, decide on a task that you need to do. Okay, so how do you plan? Choose a particular task. It could be anything like maybe studying the steps of mitosis. Say, for example, study the steps of mitosis or understand the steps of mitosis within 25 minutes. But you must make sure that the task you pick should be realistically doable within 25 minutes. If you think learning the entire process of mitosis is too much for 25 minutes, cut it down. Maybe do it over 2 cycles of Pomodoro. That's completely up to you. Maybe learn 2 phases of mitosis in 25 minutes or even learn 1 phase of mitosis. I leave it completely up to you, but you must be smart enough to decide this for yourself. How much can I do in 25 minutes? That's something that you can decide. And in those 25 minutes, you will do nothing except focus on that. That is the idea. So start by deciding on the task you need to do. Step 2 is set the timer to 25 minutes. Maybe set an alarm or just have a mechanical clock in front of you or a watch in front of you, anything that you prefer. Third step would be work on the task until the timer rings. Okay, so for the next 25 minutes, you will focus only on that and work at your best ability without any sort of distractions. Step 4 is take a short 5-minute break. So at the end of the 25 minutes, you will need a short 5-minute break. What do you do in those 5 minutes? Do anything. Meditation, yoga postures, take a quick walk around the house, maybe eat a quick snack, drink some juice, drink some water, drink some coffee, tea, anything you prefer. But not checking social media, not watching television, okay? That can possibly extend the 5 minutes to 50 minutes. So we don't want that, right? 5 minutes break has to be a 5-minute break. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? You deserve that 5 minutes break, but you don't deserve more than that. Okay? So do keep that in mind. And after this, start the next cycle. So what I mean is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 make one cycle of Pomodoro. The second cycle of Pomodoro starts with your next 25 minutes. Okay? So do this 25 minutes of study, 5 minutes of break. First cycle, next 25 minutes of study, 5 minutes of break. Cycle 2, likewise, work on 4 cycles. At the end of 4 cycles, reward yourself. What do you do to reward yourself? Give yourself a longer break. Maybe a 20-30 minutes break. It could be your breakfast break, lunch break, tea break or dinner break, whatever you prefer. But you deserve a slightly longer break because you've been working for 2 hours together now, right? So try this out. You will see how productive you are for yourself. This basically focuses on the concept of mindfulness, wherein you focus only on the task at hand and not on anything else. Right now, my responsibility is to learn this topic, and I will do my best to do that. That's all. As simple as that. Something so simple, yet extremely effective. Okay? Try this out for yourselves and let me know how it works for you. Okay? So this is tip number 3. Tip number 4. Take a break and take care of yourself. I'm not talking about the break as part of the Pomodoro technique, but in general, children, breaks are very, very important for you. When you are a student in your 10th standard or 12th standard, or maybe in college also, chances are that there are times when in your study holidays you can reach a point where you are like so overloaded with work that you forget to take a break. Somehow you end up getting this feeling that it's a crime to take a break altogether. But children, trust me, studying for 8 hours, 9 hours without a break is much less productive than studying for 2, 3 hours with short breaks in between. For sure, this has been proven, and this is something I have seen for myself. It's not the quantity, it's the quality that matters. And how do you improve that quality of the study sessions? By making time for things that you love doing as well. It could be anything. If at all you enjoy journaling, do that for 10-15 minutes at the end of the day. If at all you enjoy coloring, do that for 10-15 minutes in a day. If at all you enjoy music, make time for it at least 15-20 minutes in a day. Yoga, dancing, anything at all that you completely love doing, that gives you complete satisfaction, make time for that. I have children who are very good artists. Make sure you have time for painting, for pencil sketching, all your kinds of artwork, because that's not a waste of time. That is only helping your brain relax, and it will make your brain work better in your next study session. Right, children? So it's very, very important. This is how you take care of yourselves. All right? Avoid junk food also. Okay? Very important for you to remember this. Tip number 5, organize your lectures, notes, and study material. As I told you, having a shelf next to you, or some kind of a neat kind of organization is super important. And also, repeated revisions work wonders. Now, just after a class has been done, or just after you have completed learning something for the very first time, make sure you immediately read through your notes. This will ensure that you remember this much better as compared to learning something in a class, forgetting about it, and then coming back to it. It can save you time in the long run. And also, one more tip I want to add here, children. Listen carefully. Before you go to bed at night, read through all the notes that you have made or you have gone through in that particular day. Because during sleep, what happens is your brain is able to convert all the information you gathered in that particular day to long-term memory. Do this every day. Have a set revision schedule every week, end of every week, and end of every fortnight, or end of every month. And trust me, you will find everything a lot simpler to recall. Okay, right. So, children, points like these are important to get started with right now. It doesn't help on the eve of the exam. Okay, right. Tip number 6, join or create a study group. Okay, now, children, here I need to tell you something. Um, Study groups have got pros and cons. Okay, you need to identify right now and understand, make a judgment for yourself whether you are fit to be part of a study group or not. Because unless it's going to be the right kind of people in your study group, chances are it's going to do you much more harm than doing good. Now, until I reached my MSc level, I used to be a person who preferred to study on my own. But during school, I did have a couple of friends with whom I used to individually study, like two of us together. My friend and I, both of us together, used to study together. I had two such friends. Um, so, combined study sessions with both of them used to be super productive for me. And that was only because those girls and I had the same sort of frequency, same sort of wavelength, the same sort of probably idea about different kinds of topics. And we were pretty much at the same speed of neither too slow nor too fast. That doesn't matter. But having somebody learn with you, having your same frequency and wavelength really, really helps in the long run, because you would not waste time discussing unnecessary things. You would pretty much together try to make each other understand what exactly that is. And the kind of examples you come up with when you brainstorm together can be amazing. And also, during my MSc, I need to mention this as well. By the time we reached MSc, of course, I think by the time anyone reaches master's degree, chances are you will become very serious about studies. Not like you really want to score marks, but it's like you reach a point of life where you want to understand more and more about the concepts. You want to learn more and more. Rather than scoring marks, learning and understanding becomes very important, right? So when you are in a group of 4 or 5 people, if at all it's the right kind of group, you could possibly divide the task. Each of you sit independently, learn one particular concept, that particular person teach the rest of the group. You do this person does this, another person does this, and so on. You will find that it's a lot more simpler as compared to what it would have been if you were studying on your own. But one warning I need to give you here: don't go for this right now. Don't go in for experiments. No experiments at this point of time. No experiments. What do I mean by that? Right now, because we are already in the month of March, right now, if you are unsure if you would fit into a study group or not, don't go for it. But if you think combined study works productively for you, then try this out. Okay, right. So try this out and let me know what you think of it. The alternative would be people who don't want to create a study group. The alternate point would be, the alternate idea would be whatever I've told you. Self study, make it as effective as possible, and also possibly look at a mirror in front of you, teach yourself. Okay, that can also work equally effectively. Okay, right. Tip number 7: aromatherapy, scented candles, plants, music. All of these have been scientifically proven to have a calming effect. As I told you, music does improve brain function. Music therapy, healing touches of music, healing touches of different Carnatic and Hindustani ragas. These are all things that are still being studied worldwide. But then, again, completely up to you. If you prefer having all of these things around you while you study, go ahead for it. If you think it can be distraction while you study, but you would love to have them around to help you relax, calm your nerves when you take a break, have them around at that point of time as well. But scented candles, or when I say scented candles, it needn't be the most expensive candles. Something as simple as, for me personally, I like the smell of even camphor, karpur, as we call it in India, right? Something as simple as the smell of that can be very, very calming to the mind. Okay, so for different people, the idea would be different. But these are just tips that might possibly work for you. Okay, right. Next one, leave time for last minute review. Last minute revision is always super duper important. We on this channel ourselves come up with a lot of tips, tricks, and strategies to help you make the best use of your last minute revision. Like Bio Bites in 15-minute series is something that I came up with so that your last minute bio revisions could be much more productive and much more easier for you. Right. So make sure you don't you don't make your timetable such that you are studying till the last minute before you enter the exam hall. Okay. Make sure you leave at least 10 days of gap before your exam begins so that there is still time for last minute review, because that is very important always. Okay. Now, tip number 9: understand your best learning style. Well, the image that you see right here: visual learners, solitary learners, social learners, logical learners, physical learners, verbal learners, oral or auditory learners. You could belong to one or a mix of 2 or more categories. What kind of learning style suits you best? It's important to have that self understanding, the self judgment, right? Because some people learn best when they have a lot of pictures, images, and visuals in front of them. Some people learn best when they listen to podcasts, or when they listen to lectures, when they listen to other people teach them. Some people prefer learning through a lot of hands on experiments, touching pages and underlining and things like that. That's completely okay. That's completely up to you. Just because your friend is a visual learner needn't mean that you have to be a visual learner as well. You could be a mix of auditory learner and a social learner, or a logical learner. You just need the smartness to identify that right now at this point of time. Once you have understood your best learning style, what suits you best, There will be no looking back. Okay? Right. Now, the next one, the last and final one, which is make study time a part of your daily routine. Children, at this point of life, study time shouldn't be looked upon as a major task or a chore. Okay, I must tell you this. You just need to think of it as a very, very essential part of your daily routine. Do this for about a week. Stick to your routine for a week, 2 weeks, 1 month. You will find that by the time your exam comes, this has become part of your personality. You don't think about it as a tiring task anymore. Yes, children? So think about this. At least try incorporating a few of these tips, if at all of these are not possible, and let me know how it works for you. All right, children? And also to help you out, we do a lot at Vedantu. So check out the link in the description box below and apply the coupon code AMBPRO to find the best of micro courses and crash courses that we have for you at Vedantu. All right, children? So click on the like button right now if you have found this super useful, and share it with all your friends. Okay, I would say all your friends, regardless of whatever grade or board they may belong to, because this is, as I told you, not restricted to any particular board or grade. It's something that will help everyone out there. All right. And if there's anything you would like to add to it as well, something that's worked for you or something that you've been exploring so far, feel free to post a comment in the comment section below. I would love to see that as well. All right, children. So I'll meet you again in yet another amazing session. And until we meet again, remember to stay happy and stay healthy. Keep studying, keep working very, very hard. This is Ambika signing off. Bye bye.